Hello, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your May 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Sagittarius. And before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check me out on Instagram if you would like more content from me. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one or learn more about what I do, go check everything out in the description box. I am going to lay these cards out and then we will get started. Okay, let's look at your oracle cards first. Imagination. Don't be afraid of your imagination. Remind yourself that it is the portal to manifestation, right? Imagination is really, really key for holding a vision for what you want. So don't demonize it. It's like imagination can always play to your favor. But a lot of people misuse imagination. They imagine worst case scenarios constantly, and that creates chronic distress. So you need to figure out, how are you using your imagination, and does it work for you or work against you? And then we have the Venom. In large part, I'm getting like shadow elements coming up. So like what I just mentioned with this can be harmful if it's misused, right? If you're constantly imagining bad things happening, that's going to put your body in extreme stress. And so the Venom card is just highlighting pitfalls of where you might actually be experiencing that. So I'm getting that for the month of May, you're going to want to pay close attention to where are you harming yourself mentally and emotionally, like what patterns are getting lit up. And then we have liminal. Breathe through the confusion, discover fledging inspiration. Uncertain places are where the most exciting visions are born. The zone of infinite possibility calls you into a time of magic. These two cards are really, really compatible. So enjoy that. The central energy for you is the Page of Cups. And the emotional world is going to be really big for you. Let me clarify, or not clarify, but the crossing energy is the King of Pentacles. And so I think that you need both of these in order to get to where you want to go. So you're not going to be able to just focus on work, and you're not going to be able to just focus on getting lost in emotions. You need to process the emotions and step into mastery around your sense of security and stability. Both of those things need to happen in May. That's the message that's coming through here. If you are 0, 100 on this, on either one, you're going to get pushback. You're going to feel the venom come up. It's going to cause a disturbance. So in order to get around this, you're going to want to honor the things that are coming up and find your way into stability as often as you can. What you have shifting out is the Nine of Pentacles. This actually looks like downtime, right? So she's saying treat yourself. And the Nine of Pentacles is like, okay, I've worked really hard. I've put in the effort. Now it's time for a break to just let me relax in what I've created. And so May looks busier for you. May is going to be, okay, we're getting back on, we're getting back into the groove. We're getting back into the flow. We're getting back into work. And the time of like resting and just kind of hanging out and floating around, I'm getting that there's probably going to be more structure, more of a process happening in May. The oncoming energy is the Three of Cups. So you have a lot of reasons to celebrate, a lot of reasons to connect with people. This is highlighting community, friendship, celebration, as always, as the Three of Cups does. So there's plenty of reasons to be in this state. I think it has to do with whatever you're experiencing in May. The outward manifestation is The Knight of Pentacles. Let me check the subconscious first. And Queen of Cups. So this whole thing is very interesting because you have Page of Cups, King of Coins, Queen of Cups, Knight of Coins. So you can see, this is why it came up so potently that these two things are working together. You have to have both. You have to have both. And this is reflecting that as well. The Queen of Cups is what you're doing inside, right? That's the emotional, that's the feminine world, the internal work. And that needs to be in right relationship with the external world, with your masculine energy, with you showing up for all of the things that you're putting energy into. So there's a certain level of cohesion that is trying to take place here, and it's on you to keep those in the doses that feel right to you. So you do have a lot of work stuff going on, just don't let your Queen of Cups boil over internally. Or vice versa, where don't let the Queen of Cups, don't let the emotions completely ruin your day if you like have an emotional day. You know, it's about finding an ebbing and flowing in between. I'm processing emotions, I'm letting whatever needs to come up, and I'm showing up for the things that are important to me. Doing both of those in tandem is what you're working on. The advice for you is the Star. Trust. You really need to trust. If you have an agreement or something that you want, something that you're looking to make happen, your faith is going to be what carries a large amount of the weight. Let's see what's going on in your external influences. We have the Hanged Man. Let me clarify this. Nine of Cups. For you, you might be experiencing stillness in your external world, right? Because the Hanged Man is coming up as pause. So your environment looks, stagnant isn't the right word. It's more of like there's a slowness to it. And it's because of whatever you've asked for, whatever your intention has been set to with this Nine of Cups. That's where there's pause, there's time and space for you to explore and experiment with this equilibrium, with balancing your emotions, your feminine, your yin, with the I'm showing up, I'm creating structure, I'm doing things that are important to me. So the environment doesn't look busy because your internal state is super, super busy. It's like all of the energy is being pulled into the core, into the center. And so the environment actually looks pretty relaxed. You get to call things in and just be in a state of, I'm trusting that I get to receive the things that I've asked for, and allow the space in your environment to be there for that thing to arrive. Hopes and fears for you is the Three of Wands. I think you are getting impatient. I think you're worried about, is this going to take forever? Is this not going to work out? Is this going to be something that really doesn't end up panning out? You're kind of looking ahead with some frustration and impatience. If you're looking at things and thinking to yourself like, oh, that's super far away, or there's no way that can happen, or whatever, that's this card. Others of you are kind of looking at all of the things that you're building, kind of like your plot of land out in front of you, and you might be excited and hopeful. So it depends which state you're in. Do you feel like you're dreading the journey, or are you excited about what you're building? And the outcome of the month is Strength. Let me clarify this. Of course, personal power, autonomy, will, right? Those are all themes that come up with the Strength card. But let me see. Page of Cups. The sensitivity that you're exploring in May is the gift. That's the power, that's the strength, that's where things really shift and transform for you. That's where you persevere from, is this core energy, this central energy, and towing the edge of riding your emotions and coming into stability. That's the thing that is just getting drilled. It's like, that's what's going to make it sustainable. That's what's going to give you power. That's where your jet fuel is coming from. Let's look at the timeline. So first quarter of May, we have the Three of Pentacles, work, showing up for the things that you're looking to make happen. And this is more of the masculine show up. So let's see, because there's energetic output happening here, but let's see what happens in the second quarter. You have the Fool. So needing to improvise or do something differently. The Fool is risk. Risk, risk, risk. All of this is risk, right? Showing up for things is risk. Processing emotions feels like risk. There's always going to be that element. And so whatever isn't working, whatever you may have figured out is actually venom for you, right? Because that's what you're going to need to weed out. What is causing harm? What is causing discomfort and pain unnecessarily? Or where is there an imbalance that is actually kind of stifling you? And that's the angle that you want to come from. Okay, and then do things differently from that space. Third quarter, we have the Tower. Yep, because in order to evolve out into this next chapter, you have to let things go and you have to be okay moving on from them. Like, okay, I've decided to not, let's say in this first quarter, you figure out the way I'm showing up isn't working. The way that I'm working isn't fulfilling, or it isn't something that's providing me with any type of security, stability, joy, happiness, anything of the sort. So you pivot and then realize the old way has to go. The old way of doing things, or the patterns of the past, need to stay in the past. The fourth quarter, wrapping up the month, we have the Five of Knives. So you're cleaning a lot out. I'm getting that there is a joint effort to work through the emotional and material worlds. That's like where you're heading. That's going to bring you joy and happiness, this reason to celebrate. But don't think that this is permanent. Like, you're not necessarily going to be like working on this forever, but it's going to give you a lot of insight as to what you're kind of laying down the sword around. Okay, let's do a 3-card pick. So you're going to go into June bright and shiny is what I'm getting from this. Because the Five of Knives is like the struggle is over. So you do have that to look forward to. You're moving out of struggle and into celebration. Okay, go ahead, ask a question, ask for guidance. If you need more time, pause the video. Card number 1, we have the Six of Cups. Reciprocation. There's like choices and decisions that are coming up. And again, this is a really emotional card. I don't know if you can see, like, she has tears that are beating up. And I'm just getting that the discomfort, the open space, the decisions that you make from that empty space is going to kind of determine which direction you go. Card number 2, we have the Two of Wands. So creating a roadmap, kind of looking at the big picture, needing to set your sights on something that is exciting or is motivating, or at the very least that you can attempt. It's like, try something, take a stab at it, or put a game plan together for it, even if it doesn't go exactly the way you imagine. It's more about just getting the ball rolling, like plan, imagine, dream, build in the astral. Put your energy into the map that you're creating. Don't stop there, but it's kind of like, you don't need to put the cart before the horse. So just take it one step at a time. Card number 3, we have the Ten of Coins. This is big money card. and feeling supported, legacy, long-term goals, long-term vision, long-term project, long-term. Whatever's coming up, think either what you're dealing with in the present moment is not actually something that you need to give a lot of energy to. It's not something that is going to matter in a year. You know, there's some of that coming off of this card. And then for others of you, it's like you need to zoom out and think about what you're wanting to create long-term in your relationships, in your life in general, in the material world. Like, what is your legacy essentially? But don't mistake things that are temporary or short term for things that are going to extend for a really long time. So just make sure you're kind of asking yourself that question. Is this truly a long-term situation? Is this something that I should be treating with as much energy as I am? There's a little evaluation card because it is having you focus on like, what is the dream? What is the ideal? What are you imagining for yourself? Is that at odds with what you're pouring energy into? Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to know when I put out new readings. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, which is down in the description box below. You'll get a free dealing with family meditation, and you'll also get readings sent to your inbox, as well as other information on all sorts of good stuff that I put out. If you would like to know which decks I used in this reading, they're all listed in the description box. If you need to work with me, go to onyxhealing.com, and I will see you beautiful people later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.